Good evening, YouTube, or good morning, or good afternoon, depending where you're at. This is your man, all the way, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, I know you guys, you usually wait for it when I bring here a lovely buff chick, but hey, I got a beautiful man here right now. so, yeah. So, guys, you gotta be chill. We have here Mr. Russell G, and the G stands for gorgeous. So, so he is a photographer, and he's right across from me. I'm in North Carolina. He's in South Carolina, so we're next door neighbors. So we're going to talk
Yes.
to Russell, share his story, how he got started in his career as a photographer, and his plans for this year. So welcome, sir, and share us your story. How did you start, and where you come from, and all the stuff that got you into this.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me say it's a pleasure to be on your channel and to talk shop with you. It is definitely an honor. So I appreciate you reaching out to me and giving me the chance.
Mm-hmm. Are you welcome?
Uh, well, let me start. Well, originally I'm from New York City, so I'll
Ooh,
just kind of
where
do
from New
the.
York?
I grew up in Spanish Harlem,
Oh, Harlem.
so
Mm-hmm.
Manhattan. So I grew up in Spanish Harlem, and then I got kidnapped when I was 12, and my family brought me down south. So, so um, they said New York was getting a little bit rough in the late '70s, so we all head down south. And then, now, make a long story short, I graduated from Walterboro, joined the Navy, did my 20 years, got out, came back to Charleston. I have two daughters. Right now, one is 21, the other one is 28. So that's pretty much my story. Of where I come from, and as far as how I got into photography, it's funny. It's funny. This is a crazy story. I was dating this lady, and we broke up and everything, and I was laying in bed eating Bluebell ice cream and whatnot. Going through the withdrawals and all of that, and I kept seeing a P90X commercial by Beachbody. And I was like, oh man, that don't work, that don't work, that don't work. So I bought it anyway just to prove it didn't work. So I started getting into fitness. I went from 226 down to 185. And then I started doing Sean T's workout, all the Beachbody programs. Then I hurt my knee. And then, so I couldn't really work out. And then I just started taking pictures, and it's like, you know what? I love photography. I love fitness. Let me get into that. Then I was on YouTube because, YouTube University, and I came across my mentor, which is Brett Seeley. Is like LFC underscore Mo Better, Brett, and he started teaching. He had a mentorship program that if you wanted to learn fitness photography, join this group, and I joined this group, and I've been a part of his group, believe, since what 2019, I believe, and I haven't looked back. I mean, I'm in love with it. I love capturing someone's story, um, and putting it out there for the world to see, or for them. All depends on how they want to do it. If they want to share it, then that's for them. But I just love telling people's story through photos.
Well, that's a pretty good story, and you being a Navy, and this is why I say to you, I don't say thank you for your service. I say I appreciate the sacrifice you made for me, a citizen, for this country. That's why I would say to you, because everybody says thank you, but this is more better. You made sacrifice. It's like we provide a service, like when you're a doctor or a nurse, you're providing a service, but when in the military, you are risking your life and your time. You're going to places away from your family. And I had like my oldest niece and my youngest nephew. They were in the army, and my nephew, he was over in Afghanistan for a bit. My mom was always worried about him, saying that was a baby. She didn't want him to be hurt. But yeah, I mean, when I got into this myself, was I've been a fan of bodybuilding for a long time. My brother, he used to play football right here in our hometown, and he used to get the muscle mass. And that was one of the time when Arnold was like getting out of the sport. Lee Haney was coming up, and then you remember in the era, one of the most popular TV shows was He Man. E-Man, yeah, Thundercat. And then, I was starting getting to like into my teenage years, and then women like Corey Everson and Laura Craval, Bev Francis, it kind of just, my progressive mind just went another way. And I started my YouTube channel because my mom was sick. My mom had a series of seizures. She had a stroke. A lot of that. I was taking care of her, and I started this just to give my mind something to do. Taking care of my mom and all stuff like that. And then after she passed, I said, I have really nothing else to do. I got nothing for me. I got no kids. I don't got no wife. I just got me. I had relations, but not relationships. And I just started doing interviews and reaching out to people. Mostly I focus a lot on women's bodybuilding, but then I really expanded to the other divisions, also other people too. But yeah,
Okay.
your story is very interesting. So when you first started into photography, well, is there anybody that you really admire as a photographer?
Um, I really didn't look at when I first started. I really didn't look at any other fitness photographers outside of the guys in my group. I mean, it's a group of maybe 15 different photographers from all over. I mean, we got people. We had someone from Australia. We just picked up another guy from Mexico who joined the group to learn photography. So it's the guys in the group that I admire. It had to be Brett, because I was looking at what he was doing with light, strobe lights, and the way he was almost like a surgeon. He was using light to slice up their physique. You know, uh, he might have had a six light setup, and it's like, dude, why do you need six lights? It's just one person, but each light had a purpose. You know, one light might have caught the traps or the triceps, or it was hitting the glutes and quads just right. A light might have been for the calf. One light might have just been for the core. So I really admired his style to where I was like, okay, who is this guy? I found him on Instagram. I found him on Instagram, started following him and whatnot, and looking at what he was posting. And then after that, I mean, his work is phenomenal. I mean, you know, I'm giving him his flowers now. So, Brett, if you ever watch this video and whatnot, kudos, baby, kudos. Is all. I bow down. I bow down. You know.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, he's your Obi-Wan Kenobi to your Luke Skywalker, huh?
There you go. Sometimes I call him Master Yoda and whatnot. So
Yeah, we have some people come into the stream, and here's my man KL the Wander. He says, "Hey, what's happening? Hey, how you doing?" This is another guy. This is balls deep. He says, "What up and salute." Yeah, balls deep. Hey, balls deep. There's no ladies today, just us guys. So you gotta be, yeah, so and yeah, I mean, really, I'm a fan of you. What you people who take pictures at the shows and these competitors and these other fitness influencers. I mean, it's just something about, especially as I'm a fan of the ladies, and it's just the
right.
beauty of, how the lighting and the pictures, and especially competition style. Were you at I know they had was it the junior nationals in Charleston? Were you there, or was it junior nationals or USA's? Which one was that?
No, it was the Junior USA's.
Junior USA's, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to go look and check it out because I hadn't been to one in a while. So I went to look at everybody. I knew a couple of ladies that was on stage. So it was just good to get back out to a show and just sit in the audience and not work because you know I shoot. I don't know if you know Tyson Art.
No, never have him.
Okay, he's a event photographer. He's a fitness photographer too, but he shoots a lot of events. So um, I work with him at some of the shows in the Carolinas. So it's been a while since I've been to Junior USA. So I said, man, let me just go there and then just enjoy prejudging. So it was a good show.
Yeah. Like I said, I know a guy. His name is Glenn. He's right here in North Carolina. He's like about a good hour's away from my stay at. and he has his magazine called Amazon Fitness. It was GPS Studios of photography and videos, but also he runs Amazon Fitness magazine. A couple years ago, I interviewed Sean Nelson, who
Mm,
he's Sean Nelson's photos, photography, and also he does her biceps. And this is one I got the pleasure of meeting in person. I went to Savannah to my first bodybuilding show in 2022, and this was Annie Riccio of Muscle Angels. And Annie, I remember her when she was competing. She had just one of those beautiful physiques, just great, amazing body, and even in a woman for her 60s, she still looks great. It was great to meet her in person.
mm. I met Shawn Nelson. I think it was might have been a couple years ago. He came to Charleston, and I forgot what show it was. It might have been, yeah, I think it was Junior USA's. He came to Charleston for that, and it was another photographer from my group that came in from Arizona, Doug Scalia. So we all went out to dinner that night, and I met him and everything. So it was, I mean, really, really great guy. I do admire his work too. I mean, he's killing it. So I do admire Shawn Nelson's work.
Yeah, I remember when I did an interview with him, he dropped some interesting knowledge. I mean, tell me how when you approach the women, sometimes you just got to be, because sometimes, some of these ladies can be a bit standoffish because, they got to protect themselves because some people can take advantage of them. And, it's just, there's some good people out there and some bad people out there. And these
Oh,
ladies have image to protect. And I've done interviews where they tell me that sometimes they got to be very protective of themselves, especially whatever kind of image they present to out there. Because and especially unless you're like a certain like a more softer feminine look for fitness influencer, something like maybe athletic, like maybe a track star, gymnast,
right.
swimmer. Some of those women will, they do pretty good. But then if you, like I said again, I do most of my content on bodybuilding, like divisions like women's physique, women's bodybuilding, the figure. I've even interviewed ladies in fitness. Those level of muscles just totally. Some people say it's not very attractive, but like I said, I love them. I think they're beautiful.
You know, man, you're a blessing in the sky, in disguise. I'm going to tell you.
Oh, thank you.
Uh, I have been fascinated with the women bodybuilders, the physique, the wellness ladies. I mean, I applaud all the ladies from all the divisions, all the classes. I mean, to do what you do, I could never do, and that goes out to the men. But it's to me, I call them the OGs. The OGs, the women bodybuilders. It's just like, man, I would love to work with the women bodybuilder. And I don't know if you know Echo Bell.
Yeah, my man, great interview. I think she's supposed to be doing M show coming up. I think it's going to be USA's, I believe. Yeah, I heard of her because I think also KL. He interviewed her also. My man KL interviewed her.
Oh, okay. Um, and I've been talking with Echo Bell,
Uh huh.
and I told her, I said, I applaud you, and I would love to work with you, because I want to tell your story. I said it's like I heard you, talk with somebody the other day, and you said something like how, or it might have been Glenn talking with Echo Bell or somebody, I'm not sure, but he was saying like how the women bodybuilder is kind of like going away. We don't really have that many shows for them in the Carolinas.
No, we don't.
You know,
There's a Charlotte Pro, but that's figure. And I was
right?
talking with a young a lady earlier, Angela Nori, who competes in women's physique, she's new in Toronto. And I think I got the picture here where we're talking about how let me pull it up. The girl who won the qualification for the Olympia, I think it's Tessa Metz, I believe. And this girl, she looks like it should be right here. She looked like this is Tessa Metz on the, your left, my right. That's Tessa. She won in
Okay,
Charlotte. She won the Charlotte Pro in figure, and on my left, your right. That's Ann Gruber, who won in the Triple O Dynasty at in Arizona, where they're not too far apart in size and conditioning.
mm,
Yeah.
I think I met Tessa. It might have been in It might have been in Wilmington where I met her.
Yeah, because I think she's in South
Uh,
Carolina.
yes, yes. I, like I said, I mean, I'm fortunate to shoot backstage at some of these shows in the Carolinas, because that to me, I tell Tyson, I said, hey man, I just want to be able to have access to the athletes, just to be able to just to interact with them and whatnot, and and it worked. And I met her at one of the shows, so it was definitely good. Yeah, I mean, great physique, great physique. You know, but definitely love to work with more of the the women bodybuilders, and like I said, I you know want to give them their flowers. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, when I started this content, I realized like a while back when Glenn debuted his Amazon Fitness magazine, I did not realize there was quite a few women here. I think one lady, her name is Aubrey. I think she lives in Greensboro. A couple of ladies that are pros, some amateurs. I think they're there. It's just it's hard to find them because, like I said, you got to think about it. North Carolina is not considered a mecca. If you want to find female bodybuilders, you got to either go to California or Florida or Texas, where that's where its mecca is. But some ladies are pretty much spread out all over the place. You just gotta,
yeah,
find the right places. We have some
true.
comments here. This is from a man, K. Elder Wanderer. He asks questions. What camera you mostly use? So, what's your equipment? Camera and video, stuff like that.
Okay, for camera, I'm a Nikon guy. I use a Nikon Z6 II. And then for video, sometimes I use the Z30. You know, uh, it works for me. But to me, and I'll tell you, if you're ever thinking about getting into photography, or if you're a photographer, the best camera you can use is the best one you got. You know, I've seen people do amazing things with a crop sensor camera, with the low end um, DSLR. So, it's your eye, it's your angles, it's your lighting, your composition. Um, but for me, I'm ride or die Nikon, baby. Team Nikon.
Yeah, it's been Nikon commercials, baby. My camera is my phone. So yeah. I mean, I had a tablet when I went to Savannah. I was taking pictures with my camera, with my phone, and with my tablet. Excuse me. This is from a man, Kale. He says, excuse me, excuse me, how long you been photographing women bodybuilders? So,
Um, I want to say ever since I got into fitness photography, which is about 2019,
okay.
is the time I went out to Denver to meet my mentor. And he's international, and he's well known in the fitness photography community. So we went out there, and then I started shooting with him. He had a couple of athletes, and then we go to Vegas for Olympia. They came down to Orlando. Sometimes I go out to San Diego, and we shoot a lot of competitors. And then of course it was a couple local competitors that got me started here in Charleston, that I was just shooting, building content, because it's just like George said, these ladies want to protect their brand, and if you don't have anything on your page that remotely says fitness, but you tell them you're a fitness photographer, and then it's like, okay, well, I appreciate you, but so what I did, I found a couple of local girls who were competitors. One was OCB, and the other one was MPC, and we just started shooting. I mean, we shot every chance we could get, in the gym, outside the gym, lifestyle, portraits, and I built up that a body of work.
Yeah. It takes time because, like I say, you have to get trust. Like with me, when I started doing my live streams and doing interviews, but people, didn't know who I was. I recently picked up some ladies, started following me on my social media platforms, especially on IG, say, really, I like what you got out there because you're really showing positive material for women bodybuilders. We don't get enough. They don't get enough of it. They get
Right.
fitness shame. They get called you're a man. You're this. I do a KL and me and Big Keith Williams. He's an IFB pro. We do a live stream every Monday called Muscle Talk Mondays. Where we talk about things going on in sport of bodybuilding.
Okay.
Just yeah, other day we had his wife Tina Williams. She came on. She talked about some stuff, how she feels. This is why I really reach out to these. I want to reach out to these ladies and say, hey, I have a platform for you if you want to share your thoughts. I know sometimes they would be worried because judges might be watching this or that, but this is
Right.
about giving y'all a voice where no one else is giving you a voice. Here we got here from man KL. He says, uh, Annie stood out for me for her fetish videos and WPW magazine. Yeah, I mean, Also, how do you approach the women, especially if you want to work with them? So, well, what's the how you approach it? Like say, hi, I'm Russell. So,
Um. Yeah. You know, I, I go the best way for me to approach them or how I approach them, right? Especially there's a couple of ways. If I'm on IG and I follow someone, you want to build a relationship. People are only going to work with someone that they like, know, and trust. So I jump, I jump on their page, I follow, and then I comment, little interaction, and if they training for a show, say, hey, physique look good, what show you training for, and then they'll say, hey, I'm getting ready to do this show. Well, okay, cool, good luck, and then when the show comes up, I might post their page and say, hey, good luck to so and so this weekend at such and such show. Then it's like, hey, if you're ever in South Carolina doing a show, I would love to work with you. Um, and then they're like, oh my God, cool, I appreciate that. And then we try and collab on something and whatnot to get it going. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, this is a business, but some athletes, it's like, hey, you know, I don't mind collabing with because it's like me telling their story. You know, we're trying to create something that'll last a lifetime because they're only on stage for what 15, 20 seconds at the max and whatnot. Doing a routine. So you spent 14, 16, maybe 22 weeks in prep, and then you go on stage, you do your routine, and then let's say the show, depending on how big the show is, it's over in let's say 4 hours, 5 hours, let's say. It's
it's
like
a quote.
no,
To quote
yeah,
Usain Bolt, he said like this. He says he spends pretty much 9 months training just to run for 10 seconds. That's what that is
yeah,
for. Yeah, you spend all that time training and just on there just for just a blink and just see the judges, and then you might do your routine for 2 minutes, and that's about it.
yeah. So let's make that memory last a little bit longer. Provided they do have the stage shots from the event photographers and whatnot, but it's like okay, let's get creative. Let's capture that physique, and let's have fun. And anybody that ever shot with me knows, it's like I bring my uncle Leroy out there, and then it's the experience. It's fun, and we're dancing, we laughing, we're sharing stories. I love working with the women, with the women competitors because I'm learning from them their journey. How hard it was, the sacrifices they make, family, work. I mean, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, hitting the gym. So it's like you know getting to know them and taking a piece of them back with me to apply to myself. It's like I said, and I will tell you this right here. It's KLA. A closed mouth don't get fed. My mom always told me a closed mouth don't get fed.
My mama said that too.
So it must be a southern thing and whatnot because my mother's
It
from the
is, it
south.
is, it is, son. Like like
Yeah,
that, son.
yeah. So
He
don't
don't
be
say
afraid.
he don't say he's from New York. Like
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong and whatnot. Look at, I'm a northern boy in a southern city and everything. But yeah, nah. So if you see someone that you want to work with and build a relationship, chit chat, and just don't be afraid to ask. And just say, hey, I would love to do a photo shoot with you. If you're interested, please let me know. And then you might be surprised because they might have never done a photo shoot before. and willing to work with you. So it's like,
Yeah, I,
motto: closed mouth don't get fed.
yeah, I can understand because, like I said, I reach out to a lady and says, "Hey, this is my first time. I don't know." Say, "Hey, I'm like this. Don't be nervous. It's just you and me. It's just not like I have the guys here in the chat. They might be making comments. Sometimes I gotta be careful choose my words wisely when dealing with them. And this is a conversation between you and me. We're talking back and forth. We're having conversation. We have discussion, and that's how I work. I like if you follow my IG, I get tomorrow. I have a signing with Sherry Piami, Eunice Kitchens, and her partner Jolie from Bad Rap. And Sherry and I we did an interview a while back, and she was talking to me because I had to tell her, hey, she had to change the date back because it was going to be to that Friday morning, but she has, she works with Sharonica Hitton with opposing, so she take time. We was talking about stuff in here. Her son just graduated from high school last week. They went on a little cruise together, and and it's good to have those relationships. Just realize you got to remember these are still women and they're still men. They're not, even though they have all these muscles, they're still human beings.
Right.
Here we got a comment from KM. He says, finish telling your story of Echo Bell. I'm sorry, man. I feel like I cut you off. You want to finish it? Go ahead.
Well, nah. Okay, real quick. Nah. So I reached out to Echo Bell, and hopefully within the next month or so, she'll be, coming to the East Coast and whatnot, and we're gonna do a photo shoot. And so I said, hey, this is the idea I want to go with. Not gonna tell y'all and whatnot. I'm gonna let y'all see the pictures because I'm very creative. I have a really crazy imagination, and I told her, not like it hasn't been done, but it hasn't been done, with my style, put my spin on it. So I said, hey, let's do this, and she was like, oh my God, I love that idea. So if she comes to town, definitely we're gonna be working together and doing a photo shoot. So Echo Bell, I'm blowing you up, so you gotta come now. I put you out there, girl. I put you on blast.
I think I heard with her interview with Glenn, she's planning to come to the East Coast. I think she has family that way. I think she got something she got to do. I think also her birthday is coming up June the 9th, I believe. I can track back and can't watch the video. I think she mentioned it. But yeah, I think she's coming down this way. This is from a man, KL. He says this. He says, have you ever used iPhone to work with someone, but I heard using your phone ain't genuine photography? Yeah, he just shook his head and said no.
Nah, I mean, nah. The best camera you got is the one that's in your hand. So iPhones, the 15, the 14s, the 13, you know, it can do. I'm not going to disclaim it because some of these content creators are using their phones and they doing amazing stuff with it. You know, me, I like. I don't want to go to McDonald's and get a kid size meal. I like having a or a Happy Meal. I
Or a
like the
Big Mac.
supersized meal. Yeah, right. All right. I like the supersized meal in my hand. Um, and then I guess it's kind of hard because a lot of these athletes, if you say you're going to do a photo shoot, you show up with a cell phone. And it's like, okay. So you definitely want to represent your brand. You definitely want to be professional. I mean, you can use the iPhone, for some BTS if you want to do a quick video, something like that. Some footage. Yeah, you can use that while you still shooting with your camera. So yeah, but I'm not going to disclaim. I'm not going to talk bad about people using iPhones um, for photo shoots because some of the phones can do amazing things.
Yeah. He says this. He says, uh, I need to buy a camera and find someone to work with. Well, you're in New York. You can probably find someone. You just got to be a little smart. Also, this is from a man, Lawrence Perkins. Shout out to Lawrence. He says, good evening, Mr. Russ, George, and everyone in the chat. Thank you, Lawrence. Also, this is my brother, Gucci23. He says, salute George and brother Russ G. Thank you, XA, because me and XA, we do a live together. We talk about, I do content on mixed martial arts, mostly on women, mixed martial arts, MMA and boxing and pro wrestling. I interview some pro wrestlers too. on my channel and some MMA fighters, but mostly
Okay.
I do a little bit more bodybuilders. It's a lot easier to get up with them than it is with some of the other women. So, folks, what we're going to do here for a bit, we're going to jump into Russ's social media on his IG, and we'll look at the pictures and stuff like that, his content. But Russ, this is something I do this because I remember I learned this from Sean, and guys out there are strange, and they just and guys, no D pics. Stop it. I mean, I remember Sean telling me that even he takes the photos of the girls, and guys will send him D pics thinking he's the girl. Come on. I
Yeah,
mean,
I've never had that. I've never had that, but I have had guys reach out to me and say, "Hey, I love your pictures. You look good." I'm like, "Dude, I'm the photographer." It's like, it's like, yeah, I'm the photographer. I'm not the model.
well, that's how it is. So these guys, like I say, hey, brother Russ, hey, these guys don't be caring. They just, they want something strange for a change. so,
Yeah.
so we're gonna go here into his social media here, posting, and wow, you got who's this young lady here and all colorful and bright,
She's a OCB competitor.
which is natural. Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
have a couple of ladies OCB.
And
Yeah.
I worked with her. I met. Not really sure how we met. You know, because she might have met one of my other egos person, but we
Uh-huh.
met and then we just clicked, and then we started shooting, and I was just like, hey, you know, outside of fitness, I like to do artsy and creative stuff. So she was like, okay, cool, let's do it.
Yeah, you got some pretty girls here, Russ. A lot of very, very, very fit young ladies here. Right here, you have here Christina Graham. Kristen Graham, and she is a fitness. I know she's a CrossFitter, and she has made some alternates to her.
you,
Ooh, okay.
it's crazy how I met Kristen. It was another girl, and I think if you scroll down on the page, you see them posing together in a pool, which was like I believe last year. But this girl Britt said, "Hey, I want to do a photo shoot with Kristen," and okay, cool. So that's how I met Kristen and her husband, and they like my work. So I was like, "Hey, I'm coming up to Myrtle Beach. Would love to shoot with you again." And she was like, "Cool." So yeah, great lady, great guy. You know, I'll work with
Well, here's a
them
lady.
anytime.
Yeah, here's a lady I recognize. I met her a couple years ago. That is Erica Lopez. She is a amateur wellness competitor. I met her when she at the debut for the fitness magazine. She's an attractive young lady. I don't know. I haven't seen her much for lately. I know she's competing not this year or not.
Um, I don't think so. I think she said she was gonna just kind of like just work on some things and compete and start competing next year. But yeah, nah, Erica's my girl. Every time I come up to Charlotte, if I want to shoot, I'm like, Erica, what you doing? And she's like, nothing. I said, look, good, I need some content, and Erica be there for me.
hmm Here's this is one kind of interesting picture here.
Man, man, let me tell you about this shoot here. It's
Ooh, the
like,
reverse.
you see that right there. I was kind of like, I don't know if I should post that picture because it just kind of like, I didn't want to offend anybody, and I didn't want nobody come at me and say, hey man, well, why she got to have the brother tied up and whatnot, So, but I went with it anyway.
Or then you have to flip saying, boy, why you got that white girl tied up to that boy? Happy to
Yeah,
flip
see,
too.
but but people who love art and can appreciate it, you know, I didn't get any negative comments from it and whatnot, so that was cool. It was just creating something very, sensual, classy, in the whole 9 yards.
Now here we have here. This is a master figure competitor. Her name is Figure Warrior, Master's Figure Warrior. And how long you know her? How long you been working together with her?
You know what? I met her at Excalibur, I think here about 2 years ago. She was competing. I was shooting backstage, and then after the show was over, um, me and a couple of photographers, no, Tyson was there, and another photographer was there. We standing there, and we was like, "Oh my God, she looked great on stage." And I said, "Go over there, and ask her to, do a photo shoot." And they was like, "Oh, I don't know." I'm like, "Okay, dude, closed mouth don't get fed." So I walked over there. I said, "Hey, love you on stage and whatnot. I'm from Charleston. Would love to do some work with you later on." And she was like, "I'm from Charleston." I was like, "Shut your mouth, girl." I'm like, "Girl, be quiet." So then that's how we started working together. I love working with her. Great lady.
Yeah, and here's this the Christian with the other lady that collabed together.
Yes.
Very, very. It's like remember episode of Designing Women when Mary Jo got the fake boobs and she was hanging with Charlene and Anthony says, "There they go again. There they go. There goes Big Hoss and Little Flossie." Yeah, it's yeah, you have some great content. I think, especially in the fitness world, you really want to give these women a shine. Also, I've seen you have some guys. I think that's pretty amazing. These guys are pretty good shape, but like they'll say, it may not be the '80s, but I'm still down with the ladies, and and it's just a lot of work. Getting these pictures right. You got these water pics, these ring pics. Which is sometimes your most difficult shots.
Sometimes this no, when you outside and you're dealing with the sun, and I use a 8600. Um, all depends on the timing of the day, but if that sun is up bright and you fighting with that sun, it kind of gives you that that blowback in your lens. But to remedy that, you use an ND filter, but uh, that seems to be like my most difficult thing. And believe it or not, gym shoots. But as much as I love gym shoots, I used to hate shooting in front of the mirror.
Mhm.
That used to be my difficult shot because angling it to where the light is not in the picture or in the camera shot is really tough. And then my mentor Brett said, "Hey, every time you shoot in the gym, shoot in the mirror, shoot in the mirror." That's my uncle Leroy. I took him out with me and everything.
Yeah, Uncle Leo is moving. He's dancing. He got some steps on him. And here,
It's-
this is your youngest daughter, right?
yep, that's my youngest daughter,
And
aspiring actress.
uh-huh. And what was the play she was doing?
Um, I think I have it tagged in there. That one, that one was amazing. It was and it was based off a true story. It was a lady who did a lot of songs for Motown, and she wrote a lot of songs. I can't think of her name, but I think I tagged it in the post. Now I'm old, man. I'm like 80 years old, so just call me Forgetful Bob. Yeah.
Well,
So yeah, I'm very proud of my daughter. But as far as my creative stuff, I try and keep it all fitness. I try and use fitness athletes. Um, you know, um, I call it if I do a boudoir, I call it fit boudoir. Like the body paint stuff. I love doing it with athletes because especially when they a week or they just come off stage and their body is ripped into it's like having a second skin, and it only enhances their physique that much more. And then a lot of women love it and whatnot. I mean, I've had uh a lot of people hit me up and say, "Hey, man, I love that gold body paint. I love that silver body paint." And so I was like, "Okay, cool. Something different. Not saying it hasn't been done because nothing's original anymore. But they just haven't done it, and it's something that they love to do. So, oh, no, I'm going to do something completely different."
Yeah, I know there's a just old smoke saying, and I learned it a long time ago. I remember when I first got a computer, and I used to go on, some of these chat rooms. And back in the day, that's when you used to have dial up before it had the two way, and you had to wait till everybody's asleep because if you do it during the middle of the day, mom says, "Why the damn phone sound so funny?" So you had to wait till she's asleep because there's a rule: anything after 10 o'clock, you better be dead in jail or something. So So I remember going to chat rooms, and there's a saying I learned. It's like, "Hey kid, you like bodybuilders?" I said, "Yeah, I like female bodybuilders." I said, "Yeah." So there's an old saying. So what's the saying? Say, when they rock hard, we're rock hard. So I think it's just the beauty of it, especially when they're. And again, we can't forget these ladies or men are on the stage. They are dehydrated. They are tired.
Yes,
They
yes,
are. I remember I was watching. I interviewed a lady a while back. Her name is Jennifer Sada. She fainted at the Olympia about like 10 years ago. She was on stage at the Olympia. She fainted. And these competitors are risking their lives and their health. They
yeah.
just have a certain look. I mean, here's this from a man, K. Ellie says, would you work with some of the men by curiosity? No Diddy. Why didn't you put No Diddy for it?
I
Since
like
they
my man.
are body,
I like him. I like him. Yeah, no diddy.
yeah, since they are bodybuilders also, or strictly women just to have more of a profile. So I've seen in your profile, you do have some men, you do couples, you do men and women. I think it's about the variety, you have the variety of different aspects. I mean, you have fans of just, like I remember what Sean told me is a big, like a lot of fetish for muscle men, especially in the Kansai area. And then you have the
Right.
guys I think strictly who are men who like women with muscle.
You, it is. I want I want to work with more men because I want to have that diversity. You know, but most men, you know, they will be in the gym with their cell phones and take a selfie before they do a photo shoot. So um, a couple of the guys that I've worked with already, some are personal trainers. It's this one guy here. I think he's a pro. Is Hulk Smash. I think I shot him like years ago. And I'm trying to get back up with him again and everything. But I know he's in training and he's traveling. I definitely want to get more men because the more men see that you shoot other men, not that it's you know can be taken wrong, but it's like, man, yo, you did a nice shot with old boy. I want to do something with I want to work with you. So it's not. I mean, I have I have literally reached out to male competitors, male coaches, and say, hey man, let's get together. Let's get your team together and let's do a photo shoot. Let me shoot you because the coach was in great shape, and he was like, and I'm not going to give out no names, and he's like, I need to get a haircut. What that got to do with the photo shoot? But okay, cool, no problem. Because I don't chase anybody. I ask and whatnot. And it's like, okay, cool, not a problem. So it's. But to answer your question, I would love to work with get more men on my page. Um, yeah, definitely would love to get more men on my page.
Well, I have interviewed some guys, like I think you're probably the fifth guy I've interviewed. I've interviewed a couple of guys who compete in the amateur level. It's hard. I think it's a lot harder for me to get up with the pro guys. 'Cause I don't follow them that much.
Right.
I have Sean on here. But like I said, my challenge is about giving attention to the women because they deserve the attention because it's a lot tougher,
Yeah.
because you got to think about
Yes.
it. They don't get as much money. It costs more to be a competitor. You think about it, it's an amateur. You got to pay to compete, But then as a pro, if you don't have sponsorship to go to the shows, I just talked to a young lady. Her name's Angela Noy this afternoon. Before we started, because she's going to do Toronto in a couple of days, and it's really there's a lot to this. I know it's good for your profile to have, to get guys in it, maybe to get the guys say, you know what, let me take a chance. Let me, work with this brother and see what he does. Here we get here from my man, KL. He says, he saw nice photos. Also, he says, this, he says, so she tied me up, but then again, be careful what you wish for that say it. Also, he says this says closed mouth, don't get fed, saying I'm going to put it in my head. I was telling him dozens of times because sometimes he's if you Kale, he's more of a fan of women, not as much as a sport. Me, I'm a fan of both the women in the sport. And that's
Right.
why, when I ask questions, I don't have like a set list of questions. I just ask the stuff that's off the top of my head. I want to get more into you as a person, but also I'm a fan. I'm a minute. I'm a muscle person small. I'm not gonna lie about that. But it's a lot. And what you do is really you give them the opportunities for people to see a different light for these, men and women who are bodybuilders, who are CrossFitters, who are whatever for fitness they're in.
Yes. I mean, I'm like you. I love. I see a blank canvas, a piece of clay, and then I see how these athletes, these amazing athletes, shape, form, chisel that that piece of clay, how they paint their Sistine Chapel on their bodies. And to me, that is truly amazing. And so, the women, and like I said, work just as hard, if not harder, than the men. And I mean from bikini all the way up to women bodybuilders, all the way, to the OGs. And so it's like, let's celebrate them. Let's give them their flowers, you know, and shoot them and get them the recognition, and, most guys, and it's not in a sensual way, it's like, oh, no, it's in an artistic way. You know, let's capture all that hard work that they put in. Let's be artsy and creative and show off their physique. And then hopefully some of these promoters and some of these big shows, like, man, these ladies have a huge following. Maybe we need to bring these shows back. You know, or these classes back to the shows and whatnot. I mean, I know you told me about Tampa Pro, and I'm looking into going down to Tampa. You know, um, for the Tampa Pro and amateur. So it's like, and I don't even have anybody to shoot. I mean, if I go, I will start, advertising the shoot, and I know Amanda's there.
Yeah.
And I shot her before, but I just want to go and experience and get caught up in the awe, and it's like, yeah, yeah, this is it. I'll be like, this is why I love it. Yeah.
Come on, run a train, riding. Yeah, I mean, I tell you, Amanda is a great person. We've been friends on Facebook for a long time. I interviewed her. We met when she was down here for Glenn's magazine debut. I mean, she's a lovely lady. Congratulations on finally getting her pro card. She was in the
Yes.
trenches for a
Yes.
long time. And I think there's some ladies, I don't know if I know some ladies who actually follow my channel and maybe they might be interested because Tampa's one of the biggest shows and one of the few shows, as you know, Tim Gardner, he promotes that show, one of the few shows that still have women's bodybuilding. As you know, and this is my favorite quote from my favorite movie, Batman Begins, when Ra's al Ghul told Bruce Wayne, says, the order to take of an enemy, you walk quietly behind him and stab him in the heart. And that's how the IFBB did to women's bodybuilding, and it's even starting to do it with to physique. Like good examples like the Arnold, the Arnold they used to have the women's of that down and the drive to the not a tumor and like I said, this is how I feel like this. No offense to the wellness and the bikini girls.
Right.
Okay. To me, I'm saying like this. I've interviewed some ladies in bikini that are amateurs, and even one lady who was a pro. She's a doctor. She was a pro masters bikini competitor. I see that division as an invasive species. It's not really bodybuilding per se, even though they work just as hard, but not as hard as the women in
Hmm.
bodybuilding or in physique. I was a big fan of physique at first because I thought it watered down when bodybuilding, but doing interviews with ladies physique and good number of physique interviews are with physique competitors. And figure, it's like, it's a division that kind of, I would say, jump started divisions like physique and even I would say other divisions. But women's bodybuilding is the OG. It is the mother. For it was not for that, you wouldn't have fitness, figure, physique. Even to me, wellness is like part of that. But I say honestly, again, bikini is more an invasive species that just grew into the sport. Here we have here a comment. This is from my man KL. He says this. He says, um, how often, how many shows do you go often? So how often do you go to a show?
Um, well, if I'm shooting it with Tyson Art, then about a year and a half ago, we used to shoot maybe 5 shows in the Carolinas. So we shot, the ones we didn't shoot Junior USA here in Charleston. We did Excalibur. We did the Charlotte the Charlotte Cup. We did State. I think we did the one in Wilmington, and we did, which is the Mid Atlantic Coast Championship, and then we did Quincy Roberts show in Greensboro. So those were the shows that we would go shoot. Now, as far as me going to a show as a spectator, um, it all depends. It all depends on which ones I want to go to. I mean, if I hadn't gone in a long time, like I went to Junior USA, I went there. Was it last year or the year before last? I went to Olympia. But when I go to those shows, Olympia, I did the one in Florida twice, and I think I did Vegas last year. I go as a photographer. I'm not, and I don't shoot. No, I don't shoot. I don't go to the shows. I go to the expos. I network. I meet other fitness photographers. When I go to these shows as a fitness photographer, I'm going to work. I either have some clients that I'm shooting, which were it's funny because a lot of ladies from the Carolinas went to Vegas. So any Vegas pictures you see on my page, it was Tracy, Whitney, and Kristen. Um, they went to Vegas, and I think this year uh, Tracy's going back, Whitney's going back, and Jamie Hart, she's going. And I shot
Oh,
Jamie. I shot no. I don't. I think they're going as a spectator. I don't think they're going to compete. I could be wrong. I don't know. But
well, I know. Yeah, I know Jamie because I gave her first interview on my channel, and I remember when I did the interview, it was one of my most watched interviews on my channel. So already by the time it was 2 or 3 days in, we're already over 300 views. It was
wow.
usually sometimes it takes me maybe a good month or so before I get over 300 views. But she's a nice lady. She just interviewed with Glenn a while back. She did nationals, but didn't get her Olympic her pro card there. I think she's talking about doing North Americans. That's in Pittsburgh, and
Yes.
and she also I did a interview with a friend of her. Her name is Gina, and Gina lives in North Carolina. And also Tracy. What's Tracy's last name?
Dishman.
Dishman, never heard of her. Yeah, yeah. So it's
Matter of fact, hold on, hold on,
here.
hold on. Let me make sure real quick because I could be wrong. Yeah, it's Tracy Dishman.
All right, all right, all right. Here's a comment here from a man KL. He says, "This is," it says, "I guess the women have to work harder because it's real tough for women athlete." Yeah, it is because you got to think about it. This is sport. Like when I do my interviews with the ladies, I ask them, what got you started in the sport of, as I call it, muscle masculinity? Because the fact is, you look at it, bodybuilding is men's sport, but it's evolved over the years. We often talk about how like one thing, how the divisions are kind of to meld into one another, where physique was supposed to come in and replace women's bodybuilding. But now you're seeing some of these ladies who are one time in physique going up to women's bodybuilding. One lady who I'm a fan of, she made a switch. I love this picture. This is my favorite picture. Russ, this is her, Ashley Jones. I just
Oh,
love this picture. Oh my God! I don't know her body, that smile. Oh,
wow.
that suit. I mean, ha, ha, ha. I think there was Glenn Production did this, I believe, because you see the little logo right there. And one lady who I'm a fan of, I love her. She's my woman. That is Andrea Shaw. Oh my God. I mean, I've interviewed ladies that know her, who are cool with her. I would love to have her on for the interview. I'm still dreaming, But a while back, my homeboy, he's my partner, does my live stream with me and KL. That's my man, Big Keith. He sent me this picture a while back, Russ. And, Keith got a wife, but then he hasn't had my girl. That's my girl. I tell him. He's
Hey,
my
look at
brother. I love him. But he hasn't had my girl. He sent me, I'm sorry.
look
I'm
at.
sorry. I'm sorry,
Don't
Russ.
cut him. Don't cut him, man. Don't cut him. Don't
I'm
cut him.
not cutting. He's my brother. I love him. I love him. He sent me this. He was working. He's working. Him and his wife are working with Andrea and her coach John Simmons, because John is their coach now. And he sent me that picture. And I said, "Why you send me that?" He sent me a picture with him and his wife. I said, "That's cool. That's nice." You see that was, he had that big smile on his face. And if he was my brother, I didn't love him. I'd call me Cain. He'd be Abel. So Russ, you realize something about me. I am crazy. I have no sense of myself. I'm just a particular type of criminal. I just love
I like
analyzing.
that, man. I
Yeah,
love it. I love it.
yeah.
I love it.
So who would you like to do a photo session with if you could? Just name anybody or anyone.
Hmm. Oh, gee. Let me see. I mean, I'm trying to see. Oh, gee. It was. If it was anybody that I could do a photo shoot with, pro or amateur, that I think has an amazing physique, an amazing story. I think her name is, a friend of mine shot her a couple of years ago, but I follow her. Uh, I think her name is Jessica Coles.
Oh, just wait,
Um,
wait, wait.
let's see,
Jessica.
Jessica.
I interviewed Jessica a while back, and she we did an interview. Was it about a year or so ago? I think was it Jessica Coleman. It's Jessica Coleman.
Coleman, yes.
Yes, yeah. She's from Virginia, and I think she turned pro year before last, but she had to take some break because of medical issues.
Mm,
We were in contact for a good bit. Sometimes things they get contact with, some of you don't. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I can, she's a very attractive lady. I know a while back I reached out to her because the lady that competed with us, I think it was at the junior nationals, she killed herself, and we were talking about that. I was also want to talk to her. But yeah,
Mm.
I think anybody else, like
Matter of
I'll
fact,
give you two.
give me two.
Yeah.
Okay, I met her at the Olympia, and Kate, this is up in your neighborhood. This is up in your neighborhood. Matter of fact, she's from the Bronx, New York. Bless Rose.
Bless was ain't she chick with a big old butt?
Well, I'm not gonna, look, I'm gonna be politically correct and whatnot, the
I'm not being.
photographer, well, look, the photographer in me is going to say the girl with the great glutes, yeah,
Oh well, yeah. I remember she did a thing with that guy K.O. Kenny, because he was there. That was like, I think it was the 2022 year, and he was there asking about if they're natty or not. He was talking to um Teresa Vosick, and I remember somebody showed me that video with him talking to Teresa Vosick. I said, get away from him. Don't you get away from him. Don't just say yeah, yeah, nah. But she just kept digging a hole, saying about, well, I'm not, But I
Yeah,
was gonna see if I could pull up, but she's you got to follow her, but her account is private, so I can't pull it up
yeah.
here.
I met her. I met her at the Olympia, and I think her girl was competing, and she was just walking around, and I was just talking to her and everything, and she was from New York, and I said, hey, you know what? And then when I came back, I think I reached out to her, I DM, and I said, hey, it was a pleasure meeting you again, building that relationship, planting seeds. Stay active on their page and whatnot. So it was more or less, and I was like, hey, if I'm ever up in New York, I said I would love to work with you, or next time we at the same show, And then to me, it doesn't matter if you in season or off season. Now because your off season is your testimony, your story. So but most athletes don't like shooting in the off season. They want to shoot when they're stage ready. But I tell them all the time. I said you have a huge following. You know, Everybody knows 24/7. Like I'm not gonna look as good as I look right now and whatnot because this is me. I mean, I know I'm sexy, but I'm not gonna look like this every day. So it's gonna be days. I shave my head and whatnot. Got to trim up the goatee. So, but, I understand that's when I look my best. But it's like, hey, your followers know, and they want to follow your story. They want to connect with you on a different level. So shooting off season, shooting in season, works. So don't be scared to shoot. It is what it
Yeah,
is. You know,
yeah,
and
because
I go ahead.
yeah, no, go ahead. You just say yeah.
Oh no, I was gonna just say, and just for any other, fitness photographers or people thinking about getting into photography, even the athletes, I tell them, to me, the best time to shoot is either a week before prep because I mean, a week before peak week because peak week, them carbs start disappearing, you get crazy in the head. You get the Harley Quinn syndrome and whatnot. Like see, yeah,
Yeah,
you get the Harley Quinn syndrome. So I like to shoot before you go into peak week or a week after your show. Give you a little bit more time to get a little bit more carbs in your system and just to fill out because you're not gonna lose everything within that week. You're still gonna have great gains, muscle striations, muscle definitions, and whatnot. You're still gonna be in peak. So, and then plus you get chance to get some of that tan off and whatnot. Running around looking like you Oompa Loompa and whatnot from the Wizard of Oz or something like that. I'm just, I'm just saying and whatnot.
I know. Like I said, when the off season, you're not like Andrea. She just did some guest posing. I remember when I saw guest posing when I went to my first Vitamin show was Savannah. That was 2022. Because I live in Robinson County. It's not too far from Georgia. If you hit, I took the Amtrak, and it was my first time going to a bodybuilding show. I always wanted to go. I couldn't. Most of the time, I was mostly working. I didn't travel like that. I know my sisters used to go on tour trips like that, but I was working. I was holding down two jobs. My first job was working at a gas station when I was 16. That place closed down. Then I had another job was working in textiles. I worked with women all day, and went to school for a little bit. Had a couple other jobs here and there, and I had one job where it was kind of a special job for us. I used to work in, as you might call it, a gentleman's club, but we all know in the hood it's the booty club. And I had guys say to me, say, Jordan, man, you working at the booty, yeah, dude, it's not always like that. Sometimes these women, anything, any job when you're not doing too well, not too busy, they're not always going to be the friendliest, nicest women in the world. But there's some ladies that were came friendly with. We should sit. Sometimes we're sitting there and talk, especially on the slow nights. I mean, one time, this one girl, her name was Desire. Desire was like about 50, but dang, she was thick, bam, 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 bam. She had, and she was on stage. It was like a slow night. She was dancing. I laughed to her. I said, you know what? your crazy dancing made my penis soft. You laughing in but yeah, it's when you make a woman feel comfortable, or just make anybody feel comfortable when they are, especially instead again, bodybuilding is just such a different sport. And, we talk about like
Yes.
the fact is about everybody think about one thing about bodybuilding is always think about steroids, but you'll get more steroid use in the mainstream sports, like the Ryan Garcia thing going on right now. I do, like I said, I do content MMA. MMA fighters get busted for it. Bodybuilding because it's only that small factor to the sport, small factor. But if you're not willing to put in the work to rest, be consistent, and I know this is why the ladies like to do the photo sessions after the shows because
Hmm.
they're ripped, they're shredded, they want to preserve what they look like before when hit like say, what, I'm done for the season, or I'm gonna take a break and relax and just be mom, or just to be, just keep in shape. But sometimes just
Yeah.
want to eat carbs and sit and chill out and spend time with their family and friends before they start going to diet based.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nah,
yeah.
yeah, nah. That is so true. That's so true. And that's one of the things that I like about this industry. You know, is being able to capture that moment, being able to all that hard work they put in, the perfect pose, the perfect shot, the perfect lighting, and to enhance their physique as best that I know how. And then for them to say, "Oh my God," you know what? They'd be like, "Oh, oh my God," and it's that reaction. I guess it's almost what it is. It's like after they get done competing, and they get that first cookie or that donut, that carb, that sweet that they eat. And it's like, oh my God, or that burger, it's like, oh my God, so good. It's like when they look at that photo that I just captured, or the photos, in the gallery, and they're like, oh my God, I get that feeling. It's like, yes, it's like it's that head rush. So, I what they get, we photographers get too. That feeling, that that sensation, that drive, I get it. I get it. That high. I get it.
Yeah. It's kind of like remember the Road Warrior says, "Oh, what a rush!" Ah. Rest in peace to them. That I used to love the Road Warriors as a kid. Yeah, like I said, I enjoy what I do too because I get to talk to women who I follow. I remember when I went to Savannah. Meeting Annie was one thing. I saw Linda was there, and she was up in the front, and she smiled at me. It's because I was taking pictures with my camera, with my phone, and I just smiled back at her. And meeting people like Alita Popa. I got to meet Alita Popa. I mean, I got a picture. I got it on my old IG because somebody hacked it a while back, but I think that's somewhere in my file somewhere on my in my G photo file, and just being at that show and meeting bodybuilders. Like I went to Glenn's event, and then a while back was that summer. I think later that summer he had Rochelle Boswell came down here and she did a
Mm.
seminar. It wasn't a lot of people, just maybe like 4 or 5 women. So it was like around that Fourth of July weekend. That's the best time to have any kind of seminar. Everybody's want to eat and whatever else. And meeting someone like her and people like, um, you know, Clara Kraus and also one lady who just turned pro. I think that same year, and and just I'm kind of living a boy's dream, you might as well say, and
E-
just understanding, I mean, I would love to go to some shows. I have ladies say, "Hey, George, you gonna come to our show?" George said, for one thing is, I my car is in the shop. I live. I get Social Security. I don't get much after much. I try to save. I had to save a whole year for that trip for um Savannah. Actually, when I missed my train, but my niece, my oldest niece, she lived in Atlanta, so she came and got her own uncle and drive me back home. I told her I was thinking about going last year, but then my car, had to get fixed. It was a car my sister gave me, but I can't back up. Now I have to replace the this and that on it. The guy still having the shop
Right,
almost
right.
2 months. I need to call him tomorrow and see where's my part and get my shit fixed. But yeah, I would think I'm thinking about like my niece told me said, if you want to come because I can stay with her. I saved me the cost of a motel. She come get me. I saved me the cost of getting a ticket. I might go to check Atlanta out next year. I want to see more shows. I'm not ready for planes just yet. I'm like Mr. T. Remember B. Baraka said, "Hey fool, don't put me on a plane." I'm not ready for that. I
Yeah.
mean, I would like to do it maybe a couple years down the road when things are a little bit better for me. I might want to go maybe like a show like Tampa or also I know some ladies who say they want me to go to check out New York. Mankiel, he went to his first bodybuilding show. That was New York Pro. That's in New
Okay.
Jersey. And I have family in New Jersey. My aunt and my father will live in New Jersey before they passed. So something I really want to do maybe one of these days. Just really do this content. I mean, really want to expand. I mean, my channel's growing. I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm not
Wow.
monetized. I'm doing this because I like it. I know I got the little right there, my PayPal like that, and I appreciate the donations I get because I remember a lady who named Eunice Kitchen. She runs Bad Rap. She's IFB Pro. She sent
Hmm.
me like $40 because I was kind of like at the end of the month, and I was on my budget, and she wanted me to go check out. I said, George, I want you to watch the Vancouver Owl Show, and I want to see you give a critique of it. I said, thank you, and I enjoy doing this. I mean, I have ladies send me gifts for Christmas and cards, and appreciation, and this is why I enjoy doing this because, like I said, I'm giving these ladies a voice that no one else is giving them because if you look at it, no one's gonna pay attention to them. Other thing maybe doing some of the video sessions here it is, or as I call them, the beat the meat websites. That's what they are. We know that. You know, and it's just to give these women opportunity to share a story. That maybe you might inspire somebody. And sometimes
Right.
the interviews with ladies, it's talk about stuff. Saying, you know what, that happened to me. One lady talked about how she took care of her mom. She passed, and I said, yeah, I stay here. One lady said, yeah, have osteoporosis. Also, I have a pacemaker because I had a heart attack like 10 years ago on my job. I was working at a Smithfield Packaging. You heard of that Smithfield, and
Yeah.
I thought I was sick with a cold, but then found out I went to High Smith Rainey over at Fayetteville. My sister stayed at Fayetteville. My sister stayed at Fayetteville and told me to go get myself checked out. Went to High Smith Rainey and sent me to Cape Fear Valley. And I went back to work and then I quit. My mom got sick and then I wasn't doing anything, then I was just, working on the side. And then finally my disability came in and I was taking care of my mom till she passed. And then when she passed, I said, that was my woman. You know, uh, I never really, like I said, never had no relationships. I had relations. And then when she was gone, I really don't have anything. Everybody else in my family got kids and this and that. I started doing this because I want to give something I like and love a voice. I really enjoy what I do.
Oh, dude, I totally get it. I mean, I totally understand it. I mean, you know, I do it. I do it for the love. I do it for the love and appreciation. Because like I said, you know that saying how some parents live their life through their kids because they couldn't do it. I couldn't play football or basketball, but I'm gonna make sure my kid plays football or basketball and live through them. I couldn't. Not saying I couldn't do it. I just never had the balls to do it, to go walk up on stage and whatnot. Because if I was, I'm not gonna say if I was younger because I've seen the 60 and 70 plus competitors, but it's just these guys, these ladies, these amazing Amazons and gladiators, and I mean from bikini all the way up to me because they're competitors. They all compete, so they're gladiators and Amazons. Um, I live my life through them. It's like, man, dude, I can appreciate what he did, what she did. You know, I don't know if you follow Sean T or you know who Sean T is.
Yeah, I remember he used to do the P90X stuff. Yeah.
Right, right. He did Insanity. He's a competitor now.
Mm.
And I look his first show was last year and he's got another show coming up. And I follow his page and whatnot because I'm a beach body coach. I still do the programs, and I do all his programs when I can. And his story, trust and believe the process and whatnot. And I look at where he came from to what he looks like now, and it's like, damn, Sean, you put in the work. You did what you had to do. So, to me, you representing Beach by you representing me because I couldn't do it. So look here, boy, you go do what you got to do. My mentor, he said I should get this put on the shirt because I always say it. You know, making it do what it do. You know, so like, yo, Sean, make it do what it do, baby. Make it do what it do. So yeah. So now I totally get what you're saying in your thought process, and in these with these athletes. I do it because I love it. You know, we love what we do. We bring what we do. We tell their stories. You know, we we give it a different avenue. They do it on the stage. You do it by interviews. I do it by pictures. You know, so regardless of, well, that's not fitness. Yes, it is fitness because it's fitness related. Our stories all connect. It all intertwine. So, nah. So, dude, keep doing what you're doing. Other words, make it do what it do, baby. Just make it do what it
Yeah,
do.
what to do, baby. Like I said, I really understand. I like I said, I'm my age kid. I know I could be. I used to be about almost 500 pounds. 'Cause I was taking care of my lives. Food is like also is one of the things about it's just one of the things. And I got smarter with my eating. Even though I still eat a little junk, I'm not gonna be like a bodybuilder. But something the things out there that I love. I'll be like Pookie New Jack City. It be calling me, man. It be calling my name, man. It be calling me, man. Be calling me, calling me. I don't
Krispy Kreme
know.
donuts, baby. Krispy Kreme donuts.
Like I used to remember my younger brother was living in Fayetteville, and he lived at this it was apartment. It was like maybe a mile from Krispy Kreme. So one day I'm over there visiting. We just chilling out. He said to me, "Said I'm about to go out. You want anything? Nah. Well, if I'm going past, I'm going to the he's going to the liquor store. So I'm going past Krispy Kreme. Said, give me two donuts, the lights on." So, so yeah, I can understand now some things, but you gotta be smart when you make
Yeah,
decisions and understand what you get yourself into, especially in sport.
yeah.
But like
You
I
know,
said,
I will say this, and about the OGs, about the women bodybuilders. I mean, um, I am gonna reach out to a lot more, and it's kind of funny because you mentioned Glenn. I know Glenn. I
hmm
met him at a show, and it was just before he started his magazine, and we talked briefly, and that was about it. And I'm a stickler when it says, a closed mouth don't get fed. You know, and so Glenn, if you're watching this, I'm gonna reach out to you and whatnot. Maybe we could do uh something together and whatnot one time. Uh, would definitely love to work with you, but maybe we can collaborate on something. Uh, I got ideals, but I am going to reach out to more of the bodybuilders. I mean, I'm going to reach out to more, but I definitely want to give the women bodybuilders their love and their flowers. So, ladies, if you're watching this video, hit me up. Follow me on IG. Let's tell your story. Let's tell
yeah,
your story.
folks. Like I said, we're not gonna hold him too much longer because this gentleman gave me some time talking. He got some dope science. We brothers got to stick together. We got to come together because the fact is, we are ladies. We're your supporters. We're your big fans. I know you. Like as I said again, for my favorite movie, Batman Begins, be aware of surroundings at all time, young Mistress Rain. Never get your feeling for a killing blow. I understand that you want to be concerned about how you portray or how you image. I know some of them that they want to do interview because they want to be they want to be blackballed, yeah. But here's this. This is me telling you a story, and I know someone says that I don't want to talk about steroids. I say, we don't have to talk about your use, but I will mention it because the fact is, it's part of the sport. It's one of those factors of sport, and you know, how we talk about how the time and the work you put into this. We put in time with what we do because we do it for love, but also we do this because we enjoy what we do. We want to be recognized. I mean, like I said, with YouTube, the algorithm is not as big for women's bodybuilding as it is for the other divisions. But I
Right.
prefer that because I'm a fan of it. I would watch out to guys, but instead again, it may not be the 80s, but I'm down with the ladies. But and I like when I interview, like I have guys out here like my man KL and also Balls Deep and some others. George, we interview this girl. I interviewed a lady who she's an amateur. She lives in Texas. She got 4 kids. She competed at nationals also with Jamie. Interviewed a young lady she lives in Georgia. No, she lives in Decatur, and she competed at nationals. And she has, she's married. She has twin daughters, and she has a son. I mean, I got an interview coming up with a lady who used to compete back in the day. She was the first female bodybuilder from Estonia. That's coming up next weekend. I reach out to people who, if they respond to me, or even sometimes I send a request, say, my name is George, yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a channel, yeah, yeah. You want to come on? They say like, and you look and they like what I have, they respond to me. Even I have ladies who are like my Mendoza. She's a bodybuilder from back in the day. She competed as a pro. She saw a video I made about for her birthday. She's 60. She's 63 now. It was like 2 years ago when she turned 60, and she liked it. She started following me. I
Wow.
know one lady who I'm a fan of, Dina Westerfield. I did a
Okay.
video about her. She liked it, and she started following me. She told me because of that video, she got more followers on her YouTube channel and doing this content, and when people like Alicia Young say they like my videos. When one time there's one person who did not like a video I did, that's Michaela Acock. It was when she was going through something because her friend Dallas killed himself, and she was like, "I'm not, taking some time off." I said, "What's going on?" We just, just I'm doing news like this. One story is going on right now. Stephanie Cohen. I talked about this because one of the ladies who I've become friendly with, she sent me and said, "Hey George, look at this because this fits in your wheelhouse because it's this woman.
Mm.
She's a power lifter, she's a boxer, and I remember I even reach out to her and say, "Have you ever think about going bodybuilding?" Said, "Nah, she didn't want to do that." But now she's in defensive mode because it used to be her IG used to be open. Now it's privatized. You know, I not just talk about stuff, and I'm even working with the Female Bodybuilding Channel. One time we were doing it was a Vancouver Isle show last year, and I was with JB, AJ, my man David Bryan for Female Bodybuilding Forum. Also, there was Chelsea Dion and Asher Hadley. And actually, it's a true story. When I was
Okay.
in Savannah, I was here. Asher won a second time for that show. She was walking with her husband. And I was outside waiting for my Uber. I would probably say I would want to say something, but I didn't want to bother her because no,
Right.
I think I was this is my first time that see I saw her walking right past. I just said nah, I better not bother her. I don't want to seem like I'm creepy or anything like that. But
Right.
I really enjoy what I do. It gives me a purpose. Like I said, I'm not working anymore. Like I said, most of the time I'm at home, other than maybe going, wearing errands, going to laundry. It's about time to shave off the wool because it's getting a little warm. You know, but I enjoy what I do, and talking to people like you who enjoy what you do and who admire, who follow these ladies and who support them. I mean, this is what my channel is about. I'm like I said, I'm expanding. I'm got an interview with a couple ladies in wellness coming up. I mean, and I don't really do too much content on wellness because it's just such a deep, division. So many people, so many bodies, you can't really concentrate as many compared to what physique and even with women's bodybuilding, even figure, you know. But I try to do as much as I can with what I got. I'm not going to do too much with bikini, but I have interviewed ladies who compete in bikini. But like I said,
Right.
I'm not a big fan of division per se.
Mm. Hey,
Yeah,
we all have our preferences and whatnot.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and like you said, I mean, you want to give and bring recognition to the OGs. So, I mean, so do what you do. Do what you do. You have your your base and people liking what you do. So it's like, until they don't like it, why change it?
Yeah, yeah. Like I say, they'll say if it broke, why fix it? Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
folks. So, folks, we appreciate the amazing Mr. Russell G. I'm about to say lovely, but I gotta catch myself sometimes. I interview women so much, sometimes I don't get to be with guys too much, Russell. but I do enjoy talking with somebody who has the same passion for like I do for his sport, and he's just down the road. Maybe someday, I'll catch a bus to Charleston, check you out. Get to meet, shake hands, talk, whatever. Or maybe Charlotte. Not too far from where I stay. Charlotte's a good ways because I'm in Robinson County. That's a good. Last time I went to Charlotte when I visited my mom when she was in the hospital a while back. I mean, one time my sister and I was coming back, her uh her wheelbarrow, her tire blew out, so we had to wait to get her
Hmm.
so to pick us. Oh, it was awful. It was awful, but I enjoy talking to you, and I
Oh
enjoy
no,
the
same
fact.
here, same here, same here. Believe it or not, my mentor Brett Seeley, he was like, "Hey man, you need to be in front of the cameras more. People need to connect with you and whatnot. So start a YouTube channel. Do this. Put yourself out there." But I was like, Brett, I'm very sensitive. I'm shy. I'm an introvert. I don't. And he's like, "Man, no, you got to do it." So nah, I mean, but nah, this. But to be honest, this was all jokes aside. I appreciate this because this is the first time I've ever done something like this. This is the first time I've ever done a video about me, about what I do, and my thoughts on the industry. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you giving me this time to share me. You know to let people in and just to know who I am and whatnot. So it's I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Well, man, you're welcome. I appreciate you. If you could, like I said again, anybody else you could take a photography or do a photo session with, anybody in the IFBB, who would it be?
Any IFBB?
Andrea.
Oh, oh, gee, let me see. IFBB. Oh man, it's so many out there. Um, gee, and I'm bad with names. Let's see. I did shoot either um oh gee, who is it? Who is it? Who is it?
Evie Rain.
Godova.
I think it's
Um, who is it? I did shoot Escobar. That's, I'm butchering up her last name. It's Ivy Escandar.
not familiar with me, but just if you can, just send me a link and I'll check her out. Maybe I might get to do an interview because
Okay, okay. All right. I'll definitely. You know. Okay. I will tell you one that. Matter of fact, is Jay Fallon. Is when I first started getting on here. I seen her. I think she's up in the DC area. She's a pro, and I definitely liked her. I know before she got a pro card. Let's see. Yep. Is Jessica Fulburn.
oh yeah, she's competing at the Toronto Pro this weekend. I just reached out to her. We're planning. We might after the show. Maybe we'll hopefully get her on because I know Glenn interviewed her, KL interviewed her. I think she interviewed her man, David for Film by Forum, and I'm the only one she hadn't interviewed yet. So yeah, she has. I would think she has a beautiful look to her. I remember she was talking with Glenn,
Yes.
and they were suggesting, she felt like she switched over to women's bodybuilding, but they told her just improve on her conditioning, and that's all she really knew because she does have that. She has that next door look to her because and
Yes.
yeah. I'm gonna pull up here. We go. Yeah, this here is. I think
Yeah,
this
I'm
is
looking at a
a
profile
video I got
now.
pulled up while. Yeah, and she has a great look to her. Here it is. She is right now. I think she's doing one of those cold baths. I know I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
If I get a cup like that, the water be all over the floor.
yeah, I ain't messing with that. But now, I think when I first started getting into it, I mean, get into fitness photography, I started following her. Like I said, she wasn't a pro yet,
Mhm.
and and I might have commented on a couple of pictures and whatnot, and I just like the look, and would definitely love to work with her. I mean, she has that killer smile, her attitude, the energy, her vibes, and her pictures look great. So yeah, I would definitely love to work with her. So those are the two. Those are the two. And I try and like to keep it to the East Coast.
Mhm.
Because I'm a New York guy, so I'm a East Coast baby, ride a dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think she's
So
from Jersey. She's from Jersey.
yes, yep, she's from that area. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I
Uh,
said, I'm hoping maybe, like I said, we're hoping to plan to do, maybe interview maybe in a week or so after the Toronto Pro. You have her on. I'll mention her to you. I mentioned you to her because I say I know this guy. He might, because I know he's right here close to my neck of the woods. He might want to do a photo session with you. Maybe, she might do because Sarah Vilgas, she's putting up big prize money for the Texas Pro. And I think a lot of competitors might try to do that show because as you know, I try to just keep up my content on this. I have the guy who promoted the St. Louis Pro. He dropped women's physique from that show, and then he said he was going to drop women's physique from the Omaha Pro because they didn't have enough women competing in the show. He had at least 13 women in this show, and there's one woman on there who I follow. She's from Russia, and this lady is 55 years old, and
wow.
she is killing it. She 55. She says she's gonna be 60 in a couple. No, 56 in a couple of months. And she just turned pro last year as a women's bodybuilder and a physique competitor. Took fourth place at the Romanian Muscle Fest, beating out two or three women who already were at the Olympia a month before. And then she
Mm.
wins this show, and she's doing Omaha. I mean, she's just, I would love to do an interview with, but like I said, I don't speak Russian, but I do know a couple of competitors, who do speak Russian, very fluently, and also their English is pretty good. So maybe down the road, if I can get her on, sometimes it's hard to do interviews because I know Glenn, he did an interview from Brazil. Her husband was translated. And sometimes we do interview someone with another country, you lose some stuff in translation, especially like when I
Yeah.
like to joke around. So, but, I would have her on just to have like a regular, just we try to do what we can.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Well, Russ, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming through. I wish you best of luck in your career. Shout outs to you and your family. Tell your girls to keep striving. Did you ever think about getting into fitness?
No, no, no. Look here. I tried to get my daughters, when they was in high school. I said, "Hey, won't you join the military?" They said, "For what? You did it already." you know, you did it, so we didn't have to. I was like, "Okay, but you all in my pockets now, right?" Okay.
Well, hey, they give you a hot in the cot. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, folks,
So
if you want to follow Russ, his social media stuff is in the description of the live stream in my YouTube channel. Follow Russ, follow me, support us. If you are a competitor who maybe, you want to try your first time doing some photo sessions, he's a pretty good dude. He's professional. I mean, put yourself out there. In the sport of bodybuilding, there's no real money unless you get sponsorship or you start making yourself a brand. And if you're not willing to put yourself out, because this is a sport still, you're an athlete, just like you. Maybe not like maybe like high top level professional athlete, like football, basketball, baseball, these sports, but you are an athlete. So you should take a chance. You can't rely on anybody else to do it. You got to do it yourself. Like we said again, a closed mouth don't get fed. So, sir, you have
yes.
anything you want to get a shout out to before you head out?
I will say one thing, for all those competitors and from bikini all the way up, it doesn't matter. If you've never done a photo shoot and you're thinking about it, it's okay to bring someone with you. It's always it's it's okay to bring a girlfriend, you know, a male friend, a male um cousin. It doesn't matter because it's a safety thing, and it's a secure thing. It's like, okay, cool. Because when you never work with a photographer, you don't know. You really don't know. I mean, so you want to build that relationship, that rapport up with that photographer, saying, "Oh, okay, cool. I can trust him. She can trust me," or vice versa. Goes both ways. So if you've never done a photo shoot, Ask the photographer, say, hey, you mind if I bring a friend with you? And one tip is if they say no, then say, okay, well, no, thank you. I don't want to shoot with you. You know. So that's the tip that I could offer anybody. If you photographer reaches out to you to do a photo shoot, and you ask if you could bring a friend, and they just no, then you don't need to shoot with that thing because nah, no,
No,
safety comes first. If respect and safety comes first.
yes. And to quote my master Ra's al Ghul, the demon fade says, "Beware of surroundings of all time. Never give a sure footing for a killing blow." So,
Uh,
sir, thank you again, and I wish you best of luck. And so again, folks, I like to thank my man Kale, the Wanderer, Executor 23, Lawrence Perkins, Balls Deep, who are here watching this. People that are here watching this, here, come and subscribe. If you want to follow Russ, his social media stuff is in the description of this live stream. You can check it out, guys. And I know I don't know why I gotta tell this, especially, but I do this to everybody. Guys, no D-pics. Stop it. Get some help. This is not one of these, it's not one of these women you see. He's not one of the women. He's forward for crafts to women. It's not one of the women saying like, hey, I got a thing I got my community section when I put pictures there. I have a guy post and say, phone number. Say, I don't need a phone number. What the hell? Man.
yeah. I would really be disappointed if somebody sent me one of those pictures.
I remember doing a live stream. This guy, he was a pro level bodybuilder, 212 guy. He said that because I know sometimes I know a friend. My friend named Sean. He's an amateur competitor in men's physique, and some guys got to be wanting feet pics stuff like that because he can make he could done it because he can make money from it, but he didn't do it. But I mean, one time this guy who's 212 pro, he said that he had guys send him a D pic, and he sent one back of his. So I don't know. But anyway, folks, I'd like to thank my brother Russ for coming through. Good luck to him. Good luck to his family. And just keep doing what you're doing, brother. Keep doing what you do. Uncle Leroy.
All right. We definitely will.
All right.
Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Appreciate you too. Anyway, folks, this is Mallory George Page, aka the Emperor of, I'm gonna say this, bodybuilding talk. There's no female here. Like, subscribe. Don't like, subscribe. We're out. Have a good evening and good night.
Peace.